Okay, ladies, thanks for hanging in there with me. I had a couple of technical problems, but I'm back. I'm here. Awesome. So I'm really excited to teach you guys. All right, so today our training is all about how to lose belly fat. That was a really common question that I got when I posted my little Q&A box. So let's dig into it. If you're watching the replay, write hashtag replay in the comments so I know that you were here and watched the replay and you learned. Okay, let's dig in. So what I want you to know is a couple different myths first off, so that way you don't fall for them, because I see a lot of stuff on the internet that's there's a lot of incorrect stuff. So let's go and talk about it. So the first thing I do want to talk to you guys about, because this is all about, the midsection belly fat, because that is a pretty popular place to want to lose body fat. So first thing we're going to say is you can't spot reduce fat. So as you're losing body fat overall, it's very possible that you might lose body fat in different areas, not just from your stomach. So you can't do like 100 sit-ups or a bunch of planks and expect to lose belly fat. That's not how it works, okay? If you do those things, if you work your core, you're going to strengthen your core. You're not going to just automatically lose belly fat there, okay? I also hear things like cardio is the best way to lose belly fat, and that's not necessarily true, because if you're doing cardio, yes, you are burning calories, but you're not going to necessarily target the belly fat. You're not going to lose belly fat just because you're increasing your cardio overall. So cutting carbs, doing detoxes, drinking all different kinds of fancy drinks like turmeric and apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, whatever. That's not going to target belly fat either. So if you see TikToks and reels and everything like that about what to drink to lose belly fat, that's not how it works. So you can just ignore those. Drink it if you like it, drink it if you want, but it's not going to necessarily just tackle the belly fat and help you to lose the belly fat, okay? Something else that's not going to help you lose belly fat is going to be supplements. So there's a lot of supplements out there that says burn body fat faster or whatever. So that usually it's just a lot of caffeine. It's not going to help you lose body fat. Sustainable fat loss comes from habits. It doesn't come from pills and supplements, okay? So let's dig into it. We're going to talk about 6 ways that you can lose the belly fat, because it can be done, okay? So the number one thing, first and foremost, most important, if you don't have this one, it's not going to work at all. You need to be in a calorie deficit. I talk about that a lot. So you need to eat fewer calories overall than you burn. You have to eat a little bit less, okay? So a really easy way to do that is to track your food, see where you're landing, and then decrease it a little bit. I do have a total training and guide. I can send it to you guys. Just message me calorie deficit and I will send it to you. But that is the number one most important thing, is being in that deficit. You do not want to crash diet. So you don't want to completely slash your calories and eat something very, very low. I've never had a client that needed to eat 1,200 calories a day to lose weight. Typically, women need a lot more food than that to lose weight. And if you think about it, if you go from having more calories and you completely slash your calories down and you're eating very, very little, which isn't that uncommon. I've done that before. I've talked to a lot of women that just ate very low amounts of food trying to lose weight. So what happens overall, it's going to ruin your energy. You're going to feel really crappy. And that's not what we want, because if you feel crappy, you're not going to want to continue. Okay. So it's going to ruin your energy. It's going to ruin your hormones. It can even kind of mess with your metabolism. And that's not what you want. Okay. So number one, most important thing is going to be the calorie deficit. Number two for losing belly fat is going to be really prioritizing protein. So protein, it keeps you full, but not only full, it maintains your muscle mass. It helps to keep your metabolism up as you're losing weight as well. So overall, a good way to look at your day is to aim for at least 30 grams of protein for each meal, but most women need at least 100 grams of protein, and a lot of women need more than that. That's just like the base. That's bare minimum. Everybody's a little bit different. So you can eat things like eggs, egg whites, Greek yogurt, chicken, ground turkey, cottage cheese, any kind of protein you want. But just a good standard would be to try to have at least 30 grams per meal, because that's going to really boost you up quite a bit. If it's really hard for you to get your protein up, you don't have to stack in tons of supplements. I see that very often where women will be like, I can't have my protein. And so what they'll do is have a protein bar and a protein shake, or like 2 protein shakes. That's not what you should do. So I would say just have one of those max. And then what you can do is look at the food that you're eating. So let's say you have a salad with chicken in it or something. I just randomly thought of that. What you can do to increase your protein is just double the chicken. Or if you're having like a turkey wrap, double the turkey. So whatever you're eating throughout the day, a very, very easy way to get more protein in is to just be doubling up on the protein that you're having. And that way it doesn't like throw your day off, because I want your day not to be totally crazy. You want this to be more of a lifestyle change. And if you're eating certain things, just doubling the protein is going to help you. All right. Number 3 is going to be strength training. So really putting effort more towards the strength training is going to be so beneficial for you. You do not need to strength train like 5 or 6 days a week, but if you can commit to like 3 or 4 days a week, that is ideal. So you're probably going to be building muscle, just depending on your workout history. And if you're also focusing on progressive overload, which I'll touch on just a little bit, but you're going to be building that muscle. It's going to help you keep your metabolism higher. It's going to keep your resting metabolism higher, because you're going to maintain muscle mass as you lose weight. And it helps also change your body composition as well. So you're going to look more firm overall. And typically ladies that want to lose belly fat, lose body fat, lose belly fat, lose inches in the waist, they want to be less soft overall. And if you are strength training, it's going to help with that. Okay. You're going to look and feel more firm overall. So if you can commit to 3 to 4 days a week, that is phenomenal. That's a really good, a good range. And then also, as you're doing that, you want to focus on progressive overload as well. So trying to lift a little bit heavier than you did last week. You can also add more reps than you did last week, and focusing really on progressive overload. So that does require you kind of paying attention to your workouts, tracking them, making a mental note, or just like a little notes in your notes app, but jotting down what you're lifting. So that way next week, when you come back to it, you can try to push yourself a little bit more. And that's really how your body is going to transform the most. Okay. All right. So cardio is important overall. So strength training, number 1. Cardio is important because it's going to be healthy for you. It's good for your heart health, longevity. It's very good for your body to do cardio, but also reminding you it's not a punishment. Okay. So you don't need to do cardio to like, oh, I need to get this belly fat off, or like, I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I feel. I'm going to do more cardio. That's not why you want to do cardio. It's really to be kind to your body. So strength training is priority. Then what you can do is sprinkle in cardio on top of it. Okay. So when you have that established, like 3 to 4 workouts a week for strength training, you can sprinkle that cardio in. Okay. So cardio can be kind of like anything. It is walking, it is incline walking on the treadmill. You can do the elliptical. If you love pickleball, it could be pickleball. If you like hiking, cardio can kind of be everything. So overall, you don't have to do that much. If you are walking like 7,000 steps a day, phenomenal, amazing. I love it. If you could do a little bit more, even better. But if you're a person where you're normally getting 3,000 steps a day, it might be a stretch to get 7,000 steps a day. And maybe that's your big goal. You don't have to shoot for 10,000 steps a day. That number is thrown around a lot, and it's just not really realistic for a lot of women. So do what's realistic for you. Very important to just push yourself a little bit more than you're used to. So if you're walking like very little, maybe like 3,000 to 4,000 steps a day, try to push yourself to 5 or 6. Then once you get good at that, then push yourself a little bit more, maybe like 7 to 8 or so. Okay. So if you're doing at least 7,000 steps a day, what you can do is maybe like 2 short cardio sessions as well. And they don't have to be long. It could be like 15 minutes on the elliptical, or, but it's very important for your cardio to be what you like. If you hate running, girl, don't run. You don't need to run. So do something that you enjoy. Okay. So Overall, 3 to 4 strength training workouts, and then you could do cardio right after. It could be just like 15 minutes, and about like 2 times a day would be ideal, okay? But baby steps, okay? Strength training is the most important. If it's just too much to take on, strength training, and when you can, add in those like 2 15-minute sessions of cardio a week, okay? So you can do it anytime throughout the week. So that's number 4. Number 5 is going to be sleep and stress management, because poor sleep is going to really affect your weight loss, because if you are not sleeping well, if you're stressed, it can raise cortisol and it can mess with your hormones, okay? That can cause water retention, it can cause slow weight loss, and again, if you want to lose belly fat, it's going to really kind of halt that. You can be in a calorie deficit, and if your stress is completely crazy and your sleep is completely crazy, it can really stall weight loss. So that's why it's really so important to look at. I'm looking at that with my clients every time we check in, because it's so important. Okay, so stress and sleep management, really paying attention to those to make sure that you're, in a good spot overall. And I know a lot of you are moms, and it's hard to get a good amount of sleep, but do what you're able to try to get at least 7 hours of sleep a day. So whether that's, winding down at night at a good hour, or trying to limit screen time, turning the TV off when you should, just try to get at least 7 hours, okay? Also, you can take rest days. So you don't want to work out every single day. So you don't want to be working out constantly. It's very important to give your body the rest that it needs to repair, to recover, to make changes, okay? And you can find ways to kind of calm yourself and relax. So for me, I really like to go on a walk for some reason, just the movement and getting outside if I can. That really helps my mental state, that helps me relax. Some women like meditation. So if you want to look into that, you can maybe look into journaling, just anything that can help you to, or even, talking to a therapist or a counselor, they might give you like really good, solid advice or tactical ways to manage stress and sleep. Okay. All right. Number 6 is going to be something that can be very, very hard. Because when you are trying hard to lose weight, a lot of women have tried for years, and if that's you, if you've tried for years, you've tried so many different things, and you feel like, oh my gosh, I keep trying and not being able to, and then you kind of give up. So maybe you overate, maybe Halloween candy was a little bit crazy and caused you to gain a little bit of weight on the scale, caused you to feel stressed out, and you just want to quit and think like, why am I even trying this? Okay. So the most important thing overall is to be consistent, and you have to be consistent. You don't have to be perfect. We are not perfect. We are not robots. We're human. We all have bad days that just don't go perfect. You're going to have those kinds of days. So the important piece is to be more consistent. So when you have those bad days that kind of throw you off, you want to jump right back on track and try to be as consistent as you can. Because if you kind of give up and you're always starting and stopping, then you're really never going to lose that belly fat, because it's like you're in a good place and then you give up, and then you're in a good place and then you give up. So it's a constant like yo-yo and a constant battle with your weight loss. So weight loss in general, it's not linear. You're not always going to lose weight every single day, every single time that you weigh in. Even if you weigh in on a weekly basis, it's very possible that it might fluctuate, go up a little bit, down a little bit. And the reason why, there's a lot that goes into the scale. It's not only body fat, okay? It's going to measure how hydrated you are. It's going to measure it will dictate like your hormones. So the scale can change depending on your hormones. The scale can change depending on how many carbs you ate, which carbs are your friend, it's not your enemy. It will change depending on what time you had dinner. It'll change depending on your cycle throughout the month, how regular you are in the bathroom. If you're working out really hard on your workouts, if you just did a workout. So there's so many factors that go into the scale, okay? So weight loss, it's not going to be just like a constant downward trend. You're going to have little up and downs. My most successful clients, if you look at their scale graph of losing like 40 to 60 pounds, it's constantly going up and down like that. When it goes up, that's the important time to just not give up. No, okay, I'm doing a good job. I'm hitting all of these things. I just need to get right back on track, even though the scale went up, even though, I overate or something like that. Okay, so being consistent, very, very important. And so overall, because the scale goes up and down, you want to track trends. Okay, so you don't want to track single days. You want to track overall trends. You don't want to look at like, okay, I gained weight since yesterday. Okay, well, let's look at the big picture. What's happening long term? What's happened in the last like 30 to 60 days? Okay, you want to look at trends. All right, ladies, that's what we have for today. If I can help you with anything at all, shoot me a message. I'm here to help. And I mentioned if you want the calorie deficit guide, just message me calorie deficit and I will send it to you. Okay, I hope you have the best